Hey, what's up, people? Pizowell here, and today I want to talk to you guys about 1989's Deadly Games, aka Deadly Games Alone Against Santa Claus, aka Dial Code Santa Claus, aka Game Over, aka Hide and Freak, and aka 316 Code Puree Noel. And Deadly Games is a French film about a very gifted and talented young man named Thomas, who has one of the most hellacious mullets in movie history. We're talking top 5 movie mullets of all time. We're talking top tier, pro level, grade A mullet on this kid. And Thomas is a wonderkind. He's a computer genius. He's also very skilled when it comes to creating booby traps in his home, as well as surveillance. He also very much believes in Santa Claus. Even though all his friends around him are telling him Santa Claus isn't real, he very much wants to believe that Santa Claus is real. So much so that he sets up a series of cameras in his home to actually capture footage of Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, so that he can show his friends and show his mother and show everyone that Santa Claus is real. And all of Thomas's skills will be put to the test on Christmas Eve, when lo and behold, who should happen down the chimney but jolly old Saint Nick. Only he's not so much jolly, and he's not really Saint Nick. It's a psychopath wearing a Santa Claus costume. A deadly game of cat and mouse ensues. Now, I have to say, I was really impressed with Deadly Games on a number of levels. When we first meet Thomas, he is decked out in full-on 80s action movie regalia. He looks like a cross between Schwarzenegger in Commando and Stallone in Rambo. And he's chasing after his dog through his house, and he's just having the time of his life, being a kid. And Christmas is right around the corner, so he's super stoked about that. We see him interact with his mother. We see him interact with his elderly grandfather. We see him arguing with his best friend about whether or not Santa Claus exists. He lives in a mansion. He's got tons of toys. His family's wealthy. This kid has got it all. And then when Santa drops down the chimney, the tone completely shifts from shiny, happy holiday movie to, oh my God, Santa Claus wants to kill me. And from there, Deadly Games really went down some rather dark paths and went places I did not expect this movie to go, which gave this film a threat. I really felt like I was in the hands of a filmmaker that I couldn't trust. And I don't get that feeling very often, and I have to say it felt really good. From a technical point of view, Deadly Games is a really well-made film. It's a great looking movie. There's a lot of style in the film. The performances are really good from top to bottom. The little boy who played Thomas delivers a phenomenal performance. He just kind of gives it his all. His performance runs the gamut as far as emotions are concerned. We see him in the beginning just a normal boy, having fun, being a boy. He's excited that Christmas is right around the corner. Then we see the horror and shock on his face when he sees some of the things that Santa Claus is capable of. He tackles concern, he tackles sorrow, he tackles revenge. This little boy just delivered a fantastic performance in this film. The movie also did a really good job with the Psycho Santa character. We get to see a little bit of him pre-Psycho Santa, and what little bit we do get is actually kind of sad. And you get this feeling that he and the Thomas character are a little alike in certain ways. And I don't want to give too much away. The movie actually opens with a quote about children believing in magic, and then as they get older, they no longer believe in magic unless, the world has kind of let them down, or something to that effect. So I thought the movie did a good job with the antagonist to not just make him the typical, bad guy. There's clearly some mental illness going on there. Even later on in the film, it's as if the Psycho Santa doesn't quite understand the severity of the things that he's done or is doing in the movie. And again, I don't want to give too much away, but I personally, I appreciated that from a character-y point of view. The movie also does a great job of creating and building on suspense, because as I felt like I was in the hands of a filmmaker that I couldn't trust and that the film was going down these dark paths, even though Thomas was a little kid, I didn't feel like, his life wasn't in danger. I didn't feel like there wasn't a threat in this film, and I dug that as well. My only real qualm with Deadly Games, and it's just a minor gripe, is I felt like there was some pacing issues, like maybe they were trying to stretch out the movie to really hit that feature-length runtime. This movie also kind of suffers a little bit from the Home Alone thing of just, a little bit of bad parenting, because it is Christmas Eve. However, Thomas's mother, who's like a CEO of this big company, she's choosing to work on Christmas Eve and late into Christmas Eve instead of staying home and spending that time with her family. Thomas also has his elderly grandfather there who can barely see and who is diabetic. And of course, both of those things will come into play, and Thomas will be very much responsible for keeping his grandfather out of danger's way as the movie goes along. Also, I kind of felt like the grandfather wasn't necessarily needed, and more of a one-on-one kind of aspect was needed when it comes to Thomas and the Psycho Santa, kind of like a Hitcher thing, just, those two butting heads throughout the movie. Minor qualms, but qualms nevertheless. I still very much recommend Deadly Games. I don't know if it's necessarily a movie that I'll add to my, yearly holiday horrors, must watch list, but I dug it. I very much enjoyed it, and I recommend it. It is streaming on Shudder right now. If you are a Shudder subscriber, definitely look into Deadly Games. If you've seen Deadly Games or one of its half a dozen other aliases, please let me know down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. Hope you guys out there are all having a great, safe, healthy, happy, and horror movie filled holiday season. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Join the A Buck a Month Club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons, Kevin Smythe, B-Movie Mike, Robert Sobel, Turi Delamore, Stephen Flanagan, Lori Holt, Craig Farrand, Farron Sutton, Jeremiah Lambert, Grindhouse Grotto, Derek Jana, Demon Waffles, Simon Clark, Stone Gassman, Zachary Barton, Lorne Dixon, James Welch, Eli Geisler, Jeff Overing, Pete Toll, Kyle McGuire, Jay the Stingray, Andrew McDonald, Dave Barnes, Jonathan Lundy, Chris Gonzalez, The R-Rated Show, Fear Fuel, Jason Breitenbach, Brandon Bisdick, Steak Sauce, Mark Striano, Jeff Gardner, Travis Davis, The Obsoletionist, Chris Earls, Kevin Fitzpatrick, Randall Beatty, Joseph Hinkle, Hey Isn't That Devon Graham, Christian Hannah Horror, and Jacob Green. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.